Hi guys, Relaxed Recaps here. In today's video, I'm gonna do a recap of the 2017 action crime movie, Bright. Now just sit back, relax, and enjoy. The premise of the movie is set in a world where humans and orcs keep fighting each other, and elves are the richest people that rule the world. The scene opens with a police officer, Ward, getting shot by an orc while his partner was busy buying a burrito. Ward wakes up from his sleep and we see that it was just a flashback. Ward lives with his wife and daughter and wants to retire as soon as possible. His financial condition is unstable right now, so he has to work as a police officer even though it involves risking his life. His wife doesn't like his job, but Ward convinces her that he only needs to work 5 more years to get the pension. Then, a fairy comes outside their house, so Ward goes to kill it with a stick. His neighbors cheer for him, and he smashes the fairy. Now, a police car stops outside Ward's house, and he sees that it's his partner. Nick has come to pick him up, and he's an orc. Ward doesn't like Nick coming directly to his home, as it's shameful for him to be picked up by an orc. Nevertheless, Ward's daughter, Sophia, also gets in the car, as they'll be dropping her off at Grandma's home. Nick drops Sophia off, but she's worried that her father will be killed in his job. Ward calms her down and asks her to relax. Then, Ward and Nick are heading to the police station. On their way, we learn that Ward was shot due to Nick's negligence, and Nick couldn't even catch the orc that shot his partner. Then, they pass through the town of the elves, where we see the luxurious lives of elves who run the world. Later in the changing room, Ward's fellow officers mock him teaming up with an orc, but Ward explains that he has no choice. He doesn't want to work with Nick either, but the orders came from above. Nick is actually the first orc officer ever, and other officers hate the idea of keeping orcs as police officers. Now, all the officers are assigned their parole group, and Ward is again paired up with Nick. Ward asks Nick to wait in the car, and he goes to talk to his superior. He asks her to pair him with someone else, but to no avail. The superior says these groups are not made by her, and there's nothing she can do about it. Then, Nick and Ward leave for patrolling and get information about a fuss. The two arrive at the scene and see a shirtless man scaring everyone with his sword. Ward scares the man with his gun and Nick arrests him. They put him in the car and he starts speaking something in Orcish. Nick translates his message and reveals that he and Ward are chosen by the prophecy, and Ward is blessed. After some time, Ward is cleaning his car when the two officers from the Internal Affairs approach him. The officers explain to Ward that when he was shot, Nick intentionally allowed the criminal to run away as he was from his caste. And they have all the proof that there's no way the shooter could have run away without Nick's help. The officers ask Ward to somehow record Nick's confession so they can fire him from the job. And in return, Internal Affairs will provide financial help to Ward. He thinks about the bills he has to pay and agrees to the job. Now, 2 officers from the Magic Task Force come to interrogate the weird man. They trim his hair and find out that he's from the Shield of Light, an organization related to magic. The weird man then reveals that some elves called Inferni will raise the Dark Lord from the dead using 3 magic wands. The officers show him 2 photos, and he recognizes one of them as Lila. She is a Bright, which means she can touch a magic wand, and she's also an Inferni Coven leader. Lila is currently behind a girl named Tika, who has a magical wand. So the officers of the Magic Task Force decide to pursue Tika. On the other hand, Nick and Ward reach a suspicious place, and people suddenly start shooting at them. They take cover behind their car and start shooting at the enemies. Ward is able to shoot down a person, so the two immediately storm into the building. There, they find several dead bodies killed in mysterious ways, like by magic. They move forward while clearing the building and find a witch hung on the wall. Ward immediately calls for backup and warns them about a possible magic user on the scene. Suddenly, they hear the noise of someone running, so they run behind her. They catch the girl who was running, and she turns out to be Tika. Tika has never been caught before, and she possesses a magical wand. Then she says that someone is coming, and I request you please protect me and my magic wand. Meanwhile, the backup arrives and Ward explains the situation to everyone. He asks everyone to secure the perimeter and wait for the magic feds. But his colleagues have something else in mind. They want to steal the wand themselves and sell it for money so they have enough money for the rest of their lives. They ask Ward to kill Nick as he's the only suspect. Ward goes out with his gun pointed at Nick and asks him why he let the orc go who shot him. Nick explains that he let the orc go because he caught the wrong one. He lost the real shooter in the crowd and caught just a kid. He helped the kid escape because he would have been punished otherwise. Meanwhile, the rest of the officers plan on killing all 3 of them, but Ward turns around and shoots down all 4 of them. Nick wants to arrest Ward for killing the cops, but he explains their real intentions. Next, a gangster of that hood arrives there with his men and asks Ward to hand over the wand so he can use it to repair his legs. Ward gets in the car with Nick and Tika and tries to drive away. The gangsters open fire at them, but their car is luckily bulletproof and Ward manages to shrug off everyone. But before they could relax, Tika starts shouting "Inferni, Inferni" and asks them to immediately stop the car. Ward doesn't stop the car and their car hits an invisible wall. This happened because the wand's original owner, Layla, had cast a spell on the wand that it can only stay within a perimeter. Meanwhile, the witch Layla reached the place where Ward killed the cops. She's disappointed not to find the wand there, and hence cuts the throat of the witch that was hung on the wall. Then, we get back to Ward and Nick, who get attacked by another gang trying to snatch their wand. An intense fight breaks out between them, and Nick accidentally drops the wand. A guy picks up the wand with his bare hands and gets blasted away into pieces. They safely pick up the wand and go into a bar to hide, but the gangster comes there with his men and asks Ward to surrender. Following the wand, Lila arrives there too, and the entire bar turns into a battlefield. Ward somehow manages to run away again with Nick and Tika. Meanwhile, the magic feds find the dead witch on the wall and realize that this is Lila's doing. Then we see Ward and Nick, who change their outfits to camouflage with the ordinary, and Ward calls his friend Rodriguez to ask for his help. Rodriguez comes there and they contact the magic feds to ask for help, but before the magic feds could reach there, Lila finds them and attacks them. Again, they get into a shooting fight and Ward manages to run away, but unfortunately, they get surrounded by a group of orcs and they have nowhere to run. The orcs call Nick a traitor and they take all three of them to their boss. The boss is fed up with these fights between humans and orcs and asks Nick to join them. But Nick is a true cop now and refuses to give away the wand. Then the boss asks his men to brutally beat them, but the son of the boss seems to be very unhappy by all of this. Now, the boss asks his son to kill all three of them, but the son turns out to be the kid that was saved by Nick, so he refuses to do it. The boss tells his son to go home and asks another orc to do it. The orc shoots Nick in the chest and drops him in a hole. Now the orc was about to shoot Ward, so Tika reluctantly brings out the magic wand. She uses the magic wand to bring Nick back to life, and one orc says that the prophecy has come true. So now they all bow in front of Nick. Ward grabs Tika and storms out of the place with Nick. Here, Tika is severely injured as the use of the wand has damaged her. Nick asks Tika about Lila, and she explains that Lila wants to awaken the Dark Lord so they can rule the world with magic once again, because magic is currently illegal. And Tika was once an Inferni too, but she escaped. Now, Tika's condition starts to deteriorate even further, so Ward and Nick get into the car and take her to the hospital, but Tika asks them to take her to the place where they caught her. There is a magical pool in that building that can heal all her wounds. Ward wants to hand over everything to the magic feds, but Nick convinces him to go to the pool as everything is happening according to the prophecy. They reach the building, but the people of the Inferni are already hidden there. They attack Ward and Nick, but they somehow manage to knock out all of them. Lastly, Ward and Tika are able to get a hold of Lila, and Nick shoots her. Then, Ward takes Tika and places her in the holy water. Tika's wounds start to heal, but Lila also returns to her health and comes there. She attacks Nick and reclaims control of the wand. Then she drags out Tika and Ward from the holy water. She talks to Tika, and we learn that she's Lila's sister. Lila is about to kill Ward, but Nick shoots her in the hand, and the wand falls to the ground. Seeing no other option, Ward picks up the wand and nothing happens to him. Turns out the prophecy was right, and Ward is a bright. Tika tells the spell to Ward, and he uses it to finish off Lila. Lila explodes into pieces and a huge explosion occurs. Ward starts looking for Tika, but she's nowhere to be found. Nick picks up the injured Ward and brings him out of the burning building. Everyone witnesses Nick's bravery and salutes him. Then, once Ward is recovered, he and Nick give their word to the press. They say that all of this was an operation against a terrorist attack, and their 4 police officers got martyred in the process. Nick and Ward gave this word under the order of magic feds, as they did not want anybody to know of the magic wand and its powers. Then, at the end of the movie, Nick and Ward are honored with medals, and Tika can be seen appreciating them from the crowd. That was it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to Relaxed Recaps for more content like this. Feel free to hit the like button to help us out and leave a comment with your favorite movies. Until next time.